car fans around the world, today we dive into the legend history of the Nissan Z. From the classic 240cc that shocked America in the late 60s to the modern twin-turbo Z that's still turning heads today, this is the full story of the Nissan Z generations. First generation Nissan Fairlady Z Datsun 240cc asserted 1969 to 1978. In 1969, Nissan dropped a bombshell, the Datsun 240Z. Known as the Fairlady Z in Japan, this car was Nissan's answer to European sports car. It had a sleek long hood short deck design inspired by classic Jaguars, but it came with Japanese reliability and an affordable price. Imagine getting Jaguar E-Type looks without the breakdowns and grinding in your garage. That's what the 240Z was. Powered by a 2.4-liter inline-six producing 151 horsepower, it wasn't the fastest on paper, but the balance, handling, and affordability made it a worldwide hit. Later versions grow into the 260Z and 280Z, with bigger engines and more refinements. The first Gen Z established a formula, affordable performance, stunning looks, and a car that enthusiasts could actually own. Second generation Nissan Datsun 280ZX S 130 1978 to 1983. After the wild success of 240Z, Nissan knew the next seat had big shoes to fill. In 1978, they introduced the 280ZX, also known as S130. This car took the Z in a different direction. Instead of being a pure lightweight sport car, the 280ZX leaned more towards the Grand Touring GT style. It was bigger, softer, and came loaded with features. Think of it as the Z that put on a suit and decided to go out for a fancy dinner instead of tearing up the track. The 280ZX carried over a 2.8-liter inline-six engine, but now buyers could option it with a turbocharger by the early 80s, a sign of things to come. It also offered luxuries like T-tops, leather seats, and advanced electronics for the time. While some hardcore fans complained it was heavier and less sporty than the original, the 280ZX actually sold very well, and it kept the Z name alive into the 80s. So yeah, the 280ZX might not have been the sharpest corner cover, but it made the Z more comfortable, stylish, and high-tech. Basically the disco era Z. Third generation Nissan 300ZX Z31 1983 to 1989. In 1983, Nissan launched the 300ZX Z31. It was the first Z that carried the famous 300ZX name, and it's all about stepping into the future. The design went boxy and angular, pure 80 wise, and inside, you got one of the coolest things of the decade, a digital dashboard. It looked like something out of an arcade machine. Driving a Z31 at night felt like you were playing Outrun, except it was real life. Under the hood, Z31 offered a 3.0-liter V6 engine, the VG30, which came in naturally aspirated or turbocharged form. With the turbo, you got around 200 horsepower, which was plenty of fun for the 80s. This car also brought advanced features like electronic fuel injection and better aerodynamics compared to the 280ZX. The Z31 wasn't just about tech, it also saw action in motorsports, from IMSA racing in the United States to touring car events in Japan. While some people think of it as the forgotten Z, It actually kept the spirit alive and so strong throughout the decade. So the Z31 might not be as iconic as the ones before or after, but it was the bridge that carried the Z from disco to neon lights. Fourth generation Nissan 300ZX Z32 1989 to 2000. So in 1989, Nissan dropped a masterpiece, the 300ZX Z32. This was a revolution for the Z car, lower, wider, slicker, and way more advanced than anything before it. Gone was the boxy 80s look. Instead, the Z32 looked futuristic with its smooth lines, flash headlights, and wide stands. And yes, those iconic projector headlights were so good. Lamborghini actually used them on the Diablo later on. Imagine Nissan parts on a Lambo. Power came from the VG30DE V6. In naturally expanded form, it made around 222 horsepower, but the real star was the twin-turbo version, the VG30DE Double T, pushing 300 horsepower. In the early 90s, this was Ferrari level performance, but at a fraction of the price. The C32 wasn't just about power, it packed with high-tech features like four-wheel driving, advanced suspension design, and cockpit loaded with buttons. It became a tuner favorite, a racing machine, and a poster car for a whole generation. But here's the catch. As the 90s went on, the Z got more expensive, and by the late 90s, sales dropped. In 1996, it was pulled from the US market, and by 2000, production ended in Japan. Still, the Z32 cemented itself as one of the greatest Japanese sports cars ever built. Fifth generation Nissan Z33 2002 to 2009. So after the Z32 faded out in 2010, thought that the Z name might be gone for good. But in 2002, Nissan came back swinging the 350Z, also known as the Z33. This car was a total rebirth of the Z spirit, modern, aggressive, and built to perform. It was like Nissan said, "Alright guys, enough luxury, let's go back to basics," and they did. Power came from a new 3.5-liter VQ35 V6 starting around 287 horsepower and later climbing over 300 in special trims like the Nismo. It had rear-wheel drive, a 6-speed manual, and a stiff chassis that made it a real driver's car. The 350Z wasn't overloaded with tech. It was raw, simple, and all about fun behind the wheel. And the 350Z became a star. From drifting competitions to the Fast and Furious movies, these cars exploded in pop culture. Tuners love it, racers love it, and it brought a whole new generation of fans into the Z family. The 350Z basically said, "The Z is back, baby!" Sixth generation Nissan 370Z Z34 2009 to 2020. So in 2009, Nissan followed up with the 370Z, also known as the Z34. This was the evolution of the 350Z, faster, sharper, and more refined. The design got more aggressive with boomerang-style headlights and taillights, wider fenders, and meaner stands. It looked like the 350Z went to the gym and came back with muscles. Under the hood was the 3.7-liter VQ37 V8 or V6, producing 332 horsepower in their base form and up to 350 horsepower in the Nismo version. Drivers could get it with a 6-speed manual featuring synchro rev march, the first system that automatically rev march downshifts. For those who prefer a 7-speed automatic was also available. The 370Z became a favorite in drifting, time attack, and grassroots racing. It was affordable compared to the rivals. And while some people said it felt old school, that's exactly what fans love about it. It was pure Z DNA, rear-wheel drive, 2 seats, and plenty of power to kick out of the tail. The crazy part, the 370Z stuck around for over a decade, from 2009 all the way until 2020. It became the longest running Z generation ever, proving that even in a world of turbo force and hybrids, the naturally aspirated Z still had fans everywhere. Seventh generation Nissan Z or Z34 2021 till present.
Yeah.
So after a decade of the 370C, fans were hungry for something fresh. In 2001, Nissan had all the answer to the all-new Nissan Z under the code Z34. And this time they went full retro modern, a design that paid tribute to the original 240Z but packed with today's performance. Basically, it's a greatest hits album of the Z, remastered for 2020s. Up front, you get styling cues from the 240Z, long hood, square of grille and teardrop headlights. At the rear, taillights are inspired by the legendary 300Z XZ32. Under the hood, Nissan ditched the old naturally aspirated V6 and gave us a 3.0-liter twin-turbo V6, pushing out 400 horsepower. That's the most powerful Z gets straight from the factory. Inside, you finally get a modern cockpit, digital gates, big infotainment, and updated tech. But Nissan kept it real with a manual transmission option, something enthusiasts beg for. And for those who want the ultimate, there's a Nismo Z with more power and track-ready upgrades. So here we are, 50 years after the first 240Z. The spirit Z is still alive. Affordable performance, timeless design, and a car built for people who love driving. And there you have it, over 5 decades, 7 generations, and countless memories. The Nissan Z isn't just a car. It's a symbol of affordable performance, timeless design, and the pure joy of driving. From the humble 240Z that shocked the world to the high-tech twin-turbo beast of today, the Z has always carried one message: driving to be fun. So whether you're into the old-school classics, the 90s twin-turbo legends, or the brand-new Z34, there's a Z out there that will make your heart race. That's what keeps this car alive generation after generation. And the best part, the story isn't over yet. As long as there are drivers who grab passion and performance, the Z will keep evolving. This has been Kanjo breaking down the full history of the Nissan Z. If you enjoyed the ride, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment telling us which Z generation is your favorite. Until next time, keep raving, keep driving, and keep the car culture alive.